Okay, Brad, so we got lights, we got market. How's the marketing department coming along right now? Is it alright? Is it... Oh! Son of a bitch! Welcome back, YouTubers, to another TNA Impact Wrestling review of us, none other than the British Fist! Mr. Parkin here, and Jay with the purple shirt here. What's up? Subscribe over above here, like the video here, and comment your thoughts on TNA Impact Wrestling down in that comment section below.
And make sure you contact us in the link to the description box below.
Yes, and because of the whole Terminator NJ thing that's going on, we're fed up of him coming into our reviews, so we basically locked up the whole house so we couldn't get in. But I guess the question remains, did we lock him in, or did we lock him out? Hopefully, we locked him out.
He's one son of a gun.
I know, to be honest with you, I'm not even sure locking the doors would even manage to keep him out, but there we go. So this was the Fallout show for the No Surrender pay-per-view. We're going into Bound for Glory now, which I must admit, I am really looking forward to. We got 3 big matches lined up for this. Austin Aries versus Jeff Hardy, Rude versus Storm, and the Aces and Eights angle, which I'm guessing will be in some kind of multi-man match. I'm really looking forward to Bound for Glory. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they hype up for it.
And by in this review, you would have seen that there's been more possible matches being built up, hyped up for the pay-per-view, so things are definitely adding up.
Yes, we opened up the show this week with the TNA World Heavyweight Champion Austin Aries, basically coming out and acknowledging that he is a target for anybody, whether it be Aces and Eights, Jeff Hardy, and the focus is now going to be on Bound for Glory and Jeff Hardy. So I imagine that Aces and Eights will be staying away from Austin Aries coming up to the biggest pay-per-view of the year now.
Because Austin Aries did say that the Aces and Eights come after me because I'm the world champion. Well, they've taken you away now and they go to Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's not the world heavyweight champion. He's the more contender. So in a way, Aries, you were wrong. But it's all going to add up to them possibly getting involved in that main event angle going to Bound for Glory.
Yeah, maybe they'll get involved in some kind of angle there. I don't really know. But then out comes Jeff Hardy. He didn't look like he took a beating from Sunday, did he? But once again, they did the right thing here by giving Aries the mic, not allowing Jeff Hardy to say too much. Aries acknowledging that Hardy overcame many odds to get where he is now. And then out comes, I don't know, a person you like, and you can see the big smile on his face. Out comes Bully Ray, a bit pissed off from what happened on Sunday.
You could sometimes say when 3 people come out to the opening segment, one's going to get left out, but Bully Ray did the right thing. He got in one person's place and said, "Why I don't like you." He got in the other place and said, "Why I don't like you," and he really worked the opener very well. And he said, "Austin Aries, you're not facing me because I'll kick your ass," and blah blah blah. Then Jeff Hardy, I turned my eyes for 1 minute, blah blah. So he definitely got in their faces and proved that he's the better man out of the 2.
Pretty much, sure. Or the 3, whatever you want to call it, really. Does Jeff Hardy count as a man? I don't really know. Apparently, according to Hulk Hogan, he is an alien from out of this world, brother! And you can tell Hogan likes Jeff Hardy. I basically set up Jeff Hardy versus Bully Ray for the main event, even though it looked like Bully Ray got cut off on the mic.
Hang on, Bully Ray, Jeff Hardy.
We just saw that on Sunday, didn't we? That time that we had to pay. We had to pay to see that, right?
We did indeed.
We'll give more of our thoughts on that going into the main event. A strong opener for Impact. You gave Austin Aries the focus of the segment. Yeah, most of the mic work. Having Bully Ray come out, Jeff Hardy. You kind of setting in stone that Jeff Hardy versus Austin Aries is going to be the main event of Bound for Glory, with it being the main angle of the show, essentially. We then had an X Division Championship match. Zima Ion versus Sanjay Dutt. Where have we seen this match before, MJ? Oh, it was Sunday on the pay-per-view. This was very short, probably shorter than it really should have been. Didn't really get anywhere near enough time. Zima Ion gets the victory. Be interesting to see what they do with the X Division Championship going into Bound for Glory. This Bound for Glory is generally the time where they'll have a multi-man X Division escape match or something. I don't really know.
Going to this match, I was really questioning this because instead of it just being a singles match just for the sake of them trying to maybe give Dutt a win over Ion without the top involved. They actually put the time on the line. Thinking, you had the pay-per-view end clean, so why does it get a rematch? The second thing is, it didn't end any differently, really. And I'm like, what was the point of this?
Well, it was generally shorter. I mean, Zima Ion got the victory. Then he gives Sanjay Dutt the post-match arm breaker, Del Rio style. Like I said, be interesting. They're trying to make Zima Ion look like this sort of like killer. I guess. But it'd be interesting to see what they do with the X Division going into Bound for Glory, because they didn't really give us too much direction on this show like I thought they probably would.
Well, take away this rematch, it does leave us wondering what is the hype going to be going for Bound for Glory for the X Division, because there's no way they're going to miss off the X Division at Bound for Glory.
Exactly, so that'll be interesting to say the least. We then had a promo segment with none other than Bobby Roode. He's back!
The thing is, that particular line can be used by many other people, but after what Bobby Roode did at the pay-per-view, it fitted perfectly into this. Obviously, he's trying to get himself, look what I've done, I'm back here. And this promo, I think, was pretty good and needed, because this helped us set up what we were going to get at Bound for Glory.
Yeah, even though this was half an hour into the show, especially considering this is probably the second biggest match going to Bound for Glory. But at the same time, the promo Roode delivered made sense and was comprehensible. He basically was sat at home and wondering, why was Storm getting this title shot? He wanted to prevent his former tag team partner from finishing first and winning the Bound for Glory series. And then we then had him brawl. You had James Storm come out and try and get his comeuppance on Bobby Roode after what happened on Sunday. And they went to adverts a little bit quickly here, though, didn't they? I thought the brawl may have gone on a little bit longer, maybe gone to the back.
This was going pretty well, because the brawl was needed. Instead of the mic time against each other, after what Roode did to Storm, Storm's going to want to get his revenge. So what does he do? Try and take out Roode. And the way they did this, I think it gave Roode his little mic time and gave Storm his start of a revenge.
Yeah, really, and hopefully they will pay this off at Bound for Glory. And I'm looking forward to this. Maybe it'll be a Texas death match or something. Don't really know. It'll be some kind of no DQ match, I imagine, especially after the way they hyped this with the brawl going backstage. So I'm really looking forward to this match going to Bound for Glory.
Same here, and they also had a rough backstage segment where Storm was saying to the camera that he's ready for Roode. If Roode wants this, I'm going to come after you, and we're going to just do this at pay-per-view or later down the line. Very nicely set up.
They also hyped Open Fight Night with that, didn't they? Because James Storm said that he would be calling Bobby Roode out. So yeah,
Nicely set up.
Good segment there. So TNA decided to give us some hype for the tag titles going into Bound for Glory. They had a very, very unique concept which Hogan laid down for the tag champs. They had Kaz in a match with either AJ or Angle, and Christopher Daniels in a match with either Chavo or Hernandez. And the winner, and if Daniels or Kaz lost, they would give a title shot to the opposition member of the teams.
Okay, this was really creatively done, and as Hogan was announcing this, the fact you had to do it all in one go, I'm really glad he didn't botch it and just said the wrong thing, because it really wouldn't have worked out for Hogan.
Like I just did there, I kind of botched it. But so yeah, they did some good hype towards this. I mean, you had the backstage segments with Angle and AJ deciding who was going to be facing who, and they did the same with Chavo and Hernandez as well. The first match was Kaz versus AJ Styles. No surprise, really. We kind of knew this was going to be a triple threat tag match at the pay-per-view, so there's no real surprise that AJ got the victory here, really.
The thing I want to say about this match straight away is that in the tag team of Kazarian and Daniels, it's Daniels to watch out for. Kazarian gets these spots here and there, so I really weren't surprised that they didn't, which I think they should have. Maybe have put Kazarian over AJ, but to make this match happen, Kazarian had to lose.
Pretty much, to make the triple threat match, you had to have AJ Styles go over. And there was a little bit of history here with the fact that AJ said that he hadn't properly got at Kaz yet. So AJ Styles gets the victory here. It's kind of standard, really. You then move on to Daniels and Chavo in a match. I'm very glad Chavo was in there and not Hernandez. God damn. And Chavo gets the victory after 6.5 minutes with the frog splash.
And with this particular match, again, it could have gone either way. To either have the AJ and Angle versus Kaz and Daniels, that could have quite easily happened. But like I said, with the pay-per-view, I think Chavo and Hernandez should have got that match of their unclean finish at the Go-Home show. But the fact they're doing it right this time, reinventing the match that should have happened in a triple threat tag team, I'm all for it. I'm
glad they're not going with the same match they had at Slammiversary and also No Surrender. They're actually adding the tag team in there. So, I mean, I can see this match working as long as Hernandez doesn't botch anything. But so they did. So they basically cemented now the tag title match going into Bound for Glory, which was a good bit of the show. They did some pretty good Bound for Glory hype.
I agree. It was very nicely done.
We then had a Hogan segment where he's addressing the Aces and Eights, and he comes out to the ring alone, mind you. Basically talking about Jeff Hardy, and then sanctioning the match between Bully Ray and Jeff Hardy for later on in the night, which really should have been done in the opening segment, but there we go. You have Hogan saying that he's putting Impact on lockdown, which is their second biggest pay-per-view of the year. And then we get the Aces and Eights coming on screen, and this was worded really well, wasn't it? You had the Aces and Eights, you had the leader on there saying, now Hogan, you may have put a lock in, but have you locked us out? Or have you locked us in? Now, the wording of that really did leave you wondering, didn't it? I loved the way they worded that that particular sentence. It really set in stone the segment for me.
Well, straight away we had Hogan do the right thing, putting Hardy over, which he was going to do, because obviously Hardy is one of Hogan's boys, so he put him over in a strong way there. The Ace and Eight stuff, I really did like this, because one, they didn't really get involved tonight, so to give them a little segment, I guess it's good enough. But their words really set this segment more than what Hogan was trying to do. And the other thing I pointed out from this segment is that the Ace and Eight said any of you guys in the arena could be one of us. So it really teased up something down the line. There's going to be something bigger from this.
Indeed. They're basically just telling Hogan and everyone that wherever you go, you better watch out, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Essentially, so that group could be anywhere. And to be honest, I'm glad they didn't have too much TV time, because sometimes you can give this faction, and they can overbear the program a little bit. So to give them this one segment, I was okay. There were some shows where you can't really have them on the show consistently, and there's the main angle every time. So
following the pay-per-view, the fact that they couldn't get involved in the main event, they got cut off quite short because of Hogan's plans. I was really expecting them to actually get their payback revenge tonight. So I was really expecting now, or in the main event, we'll get to later, I was really expecting they had the full right to be involved.
I'm sweeping the wall, sweeping the wall, sweeping the wall.
So you failed to lock me out, British Fist, but next week I will get my vengeance on worthless mortals. So beware, British Fist.
Yeah, so it looks like whether he's locked in or locked out, Terminator NJ still finds a way to get in, and he will find a way to get in next week, apparently, from what he's just told us.
We were really trying our hardest to keep him out of this just so it's us, but it looks like he's here all along and there's no stopping him.
He just loves to hog the spotlight, doesn't he?
Sadly he does, but he's going to be here next week, people, so we're not ready for this, but are you?
Yeah, I hope you guys are, and we should really bring some protection or something, I don't really know. We got our gut check guy announced this week. We got a guy called Ivan Markoupoulos. The standout thing about this guy is he started wrestling when he was 13, and he's 18. So he's getting a chance in TNA when he's 18 years old. That's young.
And the other thing that stands out for me, and we'll do a little plug if you guy, he's got Facebook. Go and check it out. You can see him, friend him, yeah.
He looks awesome. So he looks like an exhibition guy. It'd be interesting to see what he does offer, I guess. We then had a knockout segment, Tara and Tetchmacher promo, and it started off a bit lovey-dovey, didn't it? You had Tetchmacher getting the Tara stamp of approval, and it got a bit lovey-dovey, and you could tell they were going towards the heel turn route when they started mentioning the fact that Tara started mentioning the fact she loved Brooke and they were best friends. It was kind of telegraphed, but it was needed to continue this feud.
It was a bit slow getting to the point, but the thing is that Tara was saying that she's done her job, she's taught her well, put her over, given her the chance that you've actually beaten me. It was very nicely done in a way you thought, giving her respect, best friends and everything. But the way she was speaking and the fact that they were in the ring together, you could sense something was coming. I expected when she was putting the belt on, but instead it leads to Tess going to all four corners and Tara going outside the ring and then the attack.
So this is going to lead into Bound for Glory, a teacher versus student match, but now with Tara heel, and I guess that would at least add more heat to the feud. I guess my only issue with this segment was when Tara attacked Miss Tetchmacher, she was getting quite loud cheers. She wasn't really getting booed like I thought she would be, but she was getting quite loud cheers. Seems like people love a bitch, don't they?
Well, that's the thing, because if you can remember this, people, Tara is not a bitch to mess with. The thing is, I'm really loving Tara as a heel. Her as a face really weren't looking that way for me. Just maybe because of the time in the WWE, she was a heel most of the time, and her now in TNA, I like her more as a heel, so I look forward to seeing possibly a rematch or whatever they're going to make about Glory.
Should be a good one, especially if they do, properly write for this feud and go into. We could have a knockouts feud at Bound for Glory and a major pay-per-view with some writing towards it. That could be a good thing. Hogan, Dixie, Pritchard, Snow, Brooke, Hogan, and D'Lo Brown They were in a backstage segment together.
But without Joseph Parks, who was meant to be Brock's bodyguard. He was nowhere in sight for this segment.
I guess that's what happens when you do pre-tapes and you don't plan ahead of time. But there we go. They basically go through this backstage segment where it kind of indicates to us that the Aces and Eights have got basically them infighting. None of them can trust each other, and it's just another layer to this Aces and Eights angle, pretty much.
The thing that stood up for me for this part is Pritchard, because Pritchard said it could be you, Hogan. In fact, you blame your own boss that he's behind the Aces and Eights. Yeah, they all had their own good segment, especially Dixie, who couldn't shut up. But I like the whole blaming Hogan.
Mind you, I guess Pritchard, as the head of creative, he could just change the angle like that if he wanted to and make Hogan the guy. Who really knows? So that was kind of interesting. They're continuing that Aces and Eights angle. The main event of this show, and what rightfully was the main event of this show, going into Bound for Glory, when Aries and Hardy is going to be the main event, and you pretty much did a very good impression of Jeff Hardy there. Jeff Hardy versus Bully Ray. We found out earlier on in the night that Bully Ray made Jeff Hardy put up his Bound for Glory title shot on the line.
You're just a coward. Yeah, Bully Ray got in Jeff's face, really tempted him to bring this match up, and I loved how that backstage segment worked. Bully Ray getting what he wanted from Jeff Hardy.
I guess my main issue with this segment is, didn't we just have literally the exact same match at No Surrender with exactly the same thing on the line, a title shot at Bound for Glory? I guess. And as we kind of expected, this match on TV was better than the one at the pay-per-view. Now, it kind of, to me, overrides that Jeff Hardy win a little bit, but at the same time, it does cement the fact that Jeff Hardy is now a top guy for TNA, and they're trying to push him all the way.
I had small hopes that the reason I'm making this a rematch is because this could be the time the Ace and Eights actually get involved, get their revenge from the match they couldn't do at the pay-per-view, but they didn't do that. Instead, they did almost the exact same finish they did at the pay-per-view on free TV. So basically, it was a better match, but same finish.
It was essentially a better match with a better Jeff Hardy. Told a little bit less of a story, but I mean, it was a good match, don't get me wrong, but why would you have essentially a match with the same thing on the line on free TV just after you've had the pay-per-view main event? You've essentially given away a pay-per-view main event on free TV. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like getting stuff for free, but goddamn, you kind of undercut the pay-per-view a little bit there.
It's a bit of a shame that they've done this, not just with one match, but early matches of the night. But at the same time, the way I'm going to see this, try and be positive for the TNA, is that we've seen Jeff Hardy, who proved early in the night that he's much better, got a win over the top heel, Bully Ray, and the fact is, he got a win without any interference or anything. So in a way, it went down pretty well, but I really wanted to see the Ace and Eights in this segment.
See, I really didn't, because I think that the whole focus of Bound for Glory now should be on Jeff Hardy versus Austin Aries. That is going to be the main event, so no focus, in my opinion, or very little, should be taken away from it. And at this point in time, the reason why Jeff Hardy is in the main event is because TNA know, from a business standpoint, this guy is a draw for the company, and they need to put... And they're going to put the title on him at Bound for Glory. I know they're going to do it. They kind of have to, or else they'll be stupid, in my opinion, business-wise. So to have Jeff Hardy go over clean in the main event, he featured in the main event and is being pushed as much as he is the correct decision for business, as we said in our Wednesday video. So this, in my opinion, was the correct way to end the show without the Aces and Eights getting involved, although it could have at least made an interesting way to the show.
Different to the pay-per-view match.
Yeah, exactly. So your overall thoughts on this edition, this No Surrender, Fallout / Bound for Glory begin hype of TNA about wrestling?
Minus the repeated matches, especially the X Division, which really may not have been needed that way. The main event was good, better match, which made up for probably the pay-per-view. The rest of the show really hyped up the Bound for Glory, and we got some really good matches building up to stuff. So I say I'm satisfied with this. I just don't think they should have maybe done the repeated stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of undercut the pay-per-view a little bit, but I'm really looking forward to Bound for Glory. I think TNA have got to the point where the timing is correct for a lot of these feuds. Like, you got Bobby Roode versus James Storm. That could be a great payoff match. You got the Aces and Eights versus TNA, I guess, which could have some kind of payoff in it. Jeff Hardy versus Austin Aries could essentially bring in a new era for TNA in terms of appealing to casual fans, etc. So, they're doing a lot of things right at the moment, TNA, even though they did have some repeated matches. You've got a good knockouts feud going into the pay-per-view. You've got, I guess, we don't really know what's going on with the X Division, but that should be sorted out hopefully by next week. And you've got the tag titles sorted out. So essentially you've got 5 matches made already for the Bound for Glory pay-per-view. Plus they hyped up Open Fight Night in some way or form for next week. So It was a good show, in my opinion. They did pretty much what they needed to do, and that was fall out from No Surrender and get the hype to Bound for Glory started pretty much as soon as possible, which they needed to do.
I'm glad they didn't have any OD being out young,
Oh,
but
thank
I
you.
think they should have had a bit of Joey Ryan somewhere involved. But I think the main concentration with Al Snow and the gut check thing was in that backstage segment about the Ace and Eights.
To be honest, they could have had that Joey Ryan segment in this show, really, or maybe next week's show or something. Just on the way to Bound for Glory, if they're going to have it at Bound for Glory, you never know, they might have that match on Free TV now. But that's really all our thoughts on this edition of Impact Wrestling. Get your thoughts, of course, down in that comment section below, and I will now hand you over to NJ. And I hope Tony has just left the building now already. I don't want him back in here.
Well, people, we're sitting here safely. We're going to escape through the back door after this. But all I have to say, people, is hopefully you've enjoyed this show. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below and give us what your favourite match at the moment going to Bound for Glory is.
Oh, yes.
And from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.
Goodbye, worthless mortals.